All right, welcome to Cabin Fever on 956 Preps, and I'm Jake Berry. I've been lucky enough to get Brandon Garza, former Harlingen High quarterback, went to UTSA, before that went to the University of Houston, and he's down here in the Valley. But Brandon, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. No problem. It's my pleasure, man. You guys have always supported me throughout my whole career, so always good talking to you guys.
So you came into Harlingen when Harlingen was probably at its highest under Manny Gomez, and you came in, you took over. This is after they lost some people, and you were able to continue that success that Harlingen was having in the playoffs, and you know you're one of those leaders that kind of matriculated into your college career.
Yeah, it was starting my junior season, after the Harlingen Cardinals went 30-0 in the regular season. The city's expecting you to not go four deep now. They're expecting you to go even further. And I'm training, with NFL coaches. I'm training with NFL quarterback coaches. So the pressure was even higher. And so, I'm doing all these things and you start feeling a lot of pressure as a 17-year-old kid, Now I'm a grown man. Now I don't believe in pressure. I don't believe in fear. But when I was a kid, it's different. And so that process was I can't even begin to describe my junior season and the emotions I went through as a 17-year-old kid. It was a lot to handle, but I overcame it. And that's the whole part of my career is overcoming adversity, overcoming doubt, overcoming criticism. And nothing has changed since then. And that's kind of been the tell of who Brandon Garza is and who will continue to be. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
And when you were in college, at the University of Houston, you were in 2014. You were the American Athletic Conference All-American Football Team. So you not only were on the football team, but you actually had to hit the books because that's not an easy task to do, especially in college when you're trying to manage your workouts with your class time plus your studying. It's a daunting task. How are you able to do it?
Well, not just 2014, but to the end of my career, I was academic
Oh, really?
Conference USA, American Athletic All Conference. That's something my parents instilled in me. Neither of my parents went to college. So when my sister and I pursued our degrees, they made sure to say, that's fine. Whatever you guys want to do, that's fine. But the number one priority is getting your college degree. And yes, if you want to play football and you want to go to the NFL, that's fine. But you're going to get your degree, son. And that's what my parents have always instilled in me because they didn't get a chance to do that. So you better believe they pushed us and made sure we understood what was first priority.
Now, you were at UTSA last year. It looked like you were going to go the coaching route. They made some coaching changes at UTSA. What's the future hold for you?
So let's talk about that. Coach Frank Wilson, former LSU National Recruiter of the Year, was the head coach at UTSA, and throughout my whole career, he said, "I want you to be a coach for me." He said, "You know the game of football like the back of your hand." He said, "I want you to coach for me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts." He didn't really give me an option. So he said, "I want you to coach for me," and that was going to be my plan coming January. Going to be a graduate assistant quarterbacks coach for UTSA, but God had other plans, and the staff unfortunately ended up getting fired. Coach Wilson ended up going to McNeese State. I was left with a decision to, make. And I decided, hey, I know the position. I've been coached by the very best. I want to be a private quarterback coach. And when I decided to make that decision, in about 2 months, I gained over about 100 clients. And that's where I was at. And so, again, we continue to move on, and God throws in another thing into my life. One of my former teammates, Carlos Strickland, who's probably going to get drafted in the top 4 rounds, left the draft early, decided to ask me and tell me he needed me to throw for him at Pro Day. And so I said, let's do it. God gave me this opportunity for a reason now. He said, let's do it. And with me, I give it 100% with everything I do. So since then, I've been training myself. Since then, I've been working out with my former high school strength coach, Coach Monty Woodall, interacting with Jaime Cavazos. I'm about to test on my 40-yard dash, about to test on my pro agility. vertical broad jump because we need to get that data to NFL teams. Gonna take my measurements. I've grown. People don't believe me or not, but I've grown. I'm about 6 foot, 205 pounds now, and I feel better than I've ever felt. So I'm gonna test, and I'm gonna send that data to teams. And like I said, man, Brandon Garza is doing some big things, and I'm gonna continue to do big things. And God has blessed me in abundance, man. And take it day by day. I have nothing to lose with following this NFL dream. If it doesn't work out, I go and end up being the best NFL quarterback, private quarterback coach in the country, or I end up being an NFL quarterback. It's kind of a win-win for me. So I'm going to do it all.
Now, I know that you were training high school players. Who were you working with? Who are some of the players that you got to work with?
The top quarterbacks that you can possibly think of at the high school level. Training multiple guys in the San Antonio area, all-state quarterback Max Domenico, Silas Gomez, come down to the Coastal Bend, training the Gregory Portland quarterback, training Corpus Christi veterans quarterbacks, come down to South Texas, training Eddie Lamarburger, a top 10 passer in the nation, training Harlingen quarterbacks, training Sam Nito, training every quarterback in the Valley, Raymondville, Lyford, the list goes on and on, how many guys I've trained and interacted. And every single kid reminds me of myself, which is awesome because in order to be elite, man, you have to learn from the elite. If you stay in this little bubble because of pride, you'll never escape the bubble. You'll never become the elite. The elite become elite because they learn from the elite. Now, if you think you're too good to learn from the elite or you're not good enough to learn from the elite, you got yourself mistaken. And so all of these guys, man, ask questions. They believe in me, just like I believed in my coaches when I was younger and growing up and trying to learn from the best and do the things that not many kids down here got to do, go to the Elite 11, do the things I was able to do in high school because I wanted to be the best. Regardless of what people wanted to limit me to do, that had nothing to do with me because I knew at the end of the day I controlled my path and God was going to guide me to the right people. And so the kids I've been able to work with, man, have the exact same mindset and are doing the exact same thing.
Now, I got to ask, because you got to work with Eddie Lamarburger, when you look at him, as far as tools, because I've heard from, scouts and recruiters, that kid's got all the tools to go big-time football.
So let me tell you one thing about me as a coach. I don't oversell anyone, and I don't undersell anyone. I tell you exactly how it is. And so when colleges are calling me, asking me about Eddie Lamarburger, I've talked to many Division I programs now. I'm not going to name who. But I've talked to Power 5 and I've talked to Group of 5 about Eddie Lamarburger. And when I tell them that this kid is going to be a Power 5 quarterback and is probably going to be the best quarterback to ever come out of the Rio Grande Valley, including myself, I'm not being blasphemous here. I'm saying exactly what I believe. He has all the tools. And I tell Eddie and I tell other guys, man, if I was your size, if I had your ability, God-given ability, now I've had to create my own through hard work now, and God's blessed me. God's blessed me with abundance with God-given ability. I'm 6 foot. I've made the best of what I have. But at his time frame, compared to guys I've seen, Eddie Lamarburger is going to the NFL in my eyes, and he should aim no lower than that.
And we're going to put your Twitter handle up, so that if people want to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram. Same thing.
And if you go to his page, you got you're working out. It looks like you've been, you look bigger than you did in high school. Let's just say that much.
Yeah, I'm a man now, man. I'm not a little boy. So I've learned how to take care of my body. I've learned what to eat. I've learned how to work out the right way. My whole life, I've always I don't have this, and I'm not God gifted with this. I'm not tall enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. And I decided to say, stop saying that stuff, man. God made you exactly who you're supposed to be in life. So I said, you know what? I'm going to turn this body into something the world's never seen before. I'm going to turn Brandon Garza into a machine and monster they've never seen before. And when I get rolling, man, don't get in my way. Please don't.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my body, but I actually went the other way and I put on 50 pounds. Now I've chiseled 30 of that 50 off, but now I got 20 more to go. But I'll look at your videos. Yeah,
it's a process, brother.
So what? Okay, you got pro day. You know you got your film out. What do you have to do in the next couple of months? Because right now the coronavirus kind of killed it for a lot of people, including the NFL. What do you have to do to get in game shape or just
You know,
playing right?
I've always strived in adversity. I've always strived with my back's against the wall, and it's weird because I love it. I'm just wired differently. I love when challenges are put in front of me in life because it gives me something to overcome. And this is no different, you know. So we're doing everything we possibly can to be safe, of course. You know, when I train and I mention that I'm going to do all these things, we're going to have the whole quarantine rules in effect. We're going to have the mask on. We're going to be safe with it, but I can't just stay in my house and not do anything because of what's going on. Like I always say, adversity is going to present itself, and God doesn't make mistakes, but that doesn't mean I have to stop chasing my dreams. So I'm going to have to continue to train. I'm going to have to continue to go outside and run and get tested and do all these things because I have no choice. I have to put my brand out there. And so that's all I can do right now. And I'm trying to work with the right people that I know down here in the Rio Grande Valley, the best of the best down here. And I'm doing the best to speed up the process, you know.
And you know, how's the reception been with the coaches as far as you know your training? Like, have they been receptive?
Yeah. So I mean, some of my former college coaches are like, "Who are you? I've never seen this Brandon Garza before." And you know, I've always been him. I haven't taken it to this level, but it's something that I transform into BG. You know, it's kind of like my alter ego. People say, "Why are you talking to yourself in third person?" You have to create a different monster because there's a time to be Brandon Lee Garza, and that's right now. Interviews when I'm working out with my clients, but when I'm in my zone, it's me against myself. So it's BG. That's why I said, "Hey, BG, don't get in BG's way, man, because he's not a nice guy when it comes to work and when it comes to chasing dreams." So that's kind of what I've made myself into, in a sense. I'm not crazy, but everyone has that alter ego.
Man, I hope everything works out for you. I hope, you know, regardless, I hope you're the next Sean Salisbury. Remember when he was working out with you, because I mean, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. I actually got to see him play when he was a quarterback there. But you know, you got trained by him. I hope that you're able to parlay this experience into that because there's big steps ahead of you.
I believe it, brother. I believe it, man. And God has big things planned for me. And for me, whatever comes with my success comes with it. But I want to impact and inspire other individuals. Other people's individual success brings me more joy than my own. You know, when I see guys like Lamarburger getting offers and I see all my quarterbacks getting offers, it just brings me such joy, man, because I've always thrived off being the most selfless person. You know, I'd rather, you know, when I was in high school getting the criticism, I'd rather that bit get put on my back because I knew I could handle it. And so throughout life, I want to be the kid and man now that handles adversity and can teach life lessons to individuals because some of these quarterbacks, man, just like Coach Salisbury told me, you know, hey, it's all fun and games right now, man. You're getting all the love, but wait when things go bad now. When you're the quarterback of the team, when you're quarterback of a franchise, you're going to get all the hate in the world. Now, when it does good, you're going to get all the success. But you can't let either or affect you, man, because if you let success affect you, you're going to get a big head. And if you let criticism affect you, you're going to get down on yourself. So you got to balance it out. And that's kind of the life lessons I've teach throughout my life and throughout my career, man, whether it's my friends, my family, my clients, whoever encounters me, I teach them the same thing, man. And it's learning from each other. Because as much as you can learn from me, Jake, I can learn from you, man. And I can learn from your story in life. So it's not about me just teaching. Teach me, man. Teach me about you. You know what I'm saying? Because we can learn from each other. When you start thinking you're better than somebody else is when you start losing focus of what God's plans is. And God's plan is to inspire and uplift.
Well, you sold me. If I was young, I'd want to be a quarterback now. I hope everything goes right for you. I hope everything goes your way. I mean, I know you're tough enough to face whatever adversity, but I hope that everything goes your way and Best of luck, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us and talk to us today.
Thank you, brother. Like I said, best wishes to you and your brand. You've got my support all the way through. And just know whenever you want any interviews or anything in general, man, I'm here for you. And I appreciate you.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right, brother. Have a good one.